Good evening and welcome to Jackal Garage. I'm your host, Mike, and I'm flying solo. Jeff had some internet issues at his house, and he could not join us this evening. Being a customer of Cox Communication, I've had my fair share of internet issues here and there. Good morning, Joe. How are you doing today? Hey, Adam. How you doing, buddy? Greetings and salutations. How you guys doing? So yes, I am flying solo tonight. I've had a it's just you then. Just hi. Thanks, Joe. You make me feel special. Morning. I guess it could be morning for some of us. So I've had a rough evening so far. Everything I've touched has gone south. So hopefully I can build some cars and not have everything go south on me. But I do have quite a few projects going on. Hopefully David will chime in a little bit later this evening and let me know which direction he wants to take on his Erikenstein build. Did I say good morning? Probably. I'm sorry, Joe. It's been a rough evening since I came home. Everything I've touched, I've broken, and I think I messed up the dice tray for our giveaway prize. So let me. Hopefully, I can salvage it, but we'll find out. So yeah, let's see if I can touch some cars and maybe get some stuff going in the right direction. So I'm gonna go ahead and cover up the camera real fast so that the light doesn't blind you guys. Sometimes that light can just be overwhelming, and I don't like that. So where are we at with my car builds this week? Things have been moving along. My camera is just a slightly out of whack. There we go. So the little truck that I've been working on for Darren's shop, we got that all kind of glued together. So what we need to do is hit the rims with some metal, hit the wire mesh, get the door handles, get this box painted in the back, and then get the grill done. And then I'm thinking I'll probably just do some light weathering around the edges, a little bit of a rust effect, just to kind of make it look a little bit old and decrepit a little bit there. So this is going to be the first thing I start tackling this evening. The other car that I'm working on for the shop, I got it all painted. Got all the base colors on. I've got the engine compartment. This was one of the other things that went south on me today. One of the things I do with my metal chrome pieces on older cars, because the chrome is just a plating and it starts to oxidize, is I dip it in CLR, which is basically a lime away product, to get some of that corrosion away. And what ended up, I picked up my little jar I had it in. I didn't have a good grip on it, and it fell on the floor and got all over my carpet. So I had to pull my carpet up. It's just a little throw carpet. I have wood floors in here, but I wanted to get the carpet up because I didn't want that stuff to soak through into my wood floors. So now I'm just kind of rolling around on the wood floors right now. But anyway, so I got this all cleaned up. And one of the reasons I do that is it kind of etches the metal a little bit. So this way, when I hit it with a primer, the primer has a tendency to stick better than just trying to stick it straight onto chrome, because this piece is actually metal. And that chrome plating, it's an old model. So that chrome plating was pretty oxidized. So that cleaned it up. But as you can see, this is what the car is going to look like. So I'm trying to use the 3 colors of IOG, which is the gray, black, and red. So this is what it will look like. I'm just going to paint the seat inside there white and give it a little bit of a wash. And we've got the 2 guns mounted up front. A little bit of a challenge to see, but you can see them right there. Just going to have those 2 gun barrels sticking out, and that's going to be it. This car, I'm not going to get crazy on this because Darren likes his classic cars. I just want to keep a nice kind of a classic feel to it. I don't want a bunch of stuff all piled on top of it. So that way, if he chooses to use it for a different type of game, it's still usable. Or if he just, just a classic car. So that's where that is. So I'll work on that during the week. And then we've got the Erikenstein. I'm going to fill this in with bombs. And then this was the scoop we built last week, which I think turned out fantastic. And then that's it. So I kind of started working on getting everything primed and ready to go. I just got to wait for David to shout out what color he wants this to be painted. But I'll go ahead and get the bombs glued in tonight. That way it'll just be detail painting. Plus I covered up the sunroof during the week. Nothing too exciting. Just cut out a piece of plastic card, slipped it in there, and glued it down. So that was fun. And then I'm starting to work on this project. So this is my big truck conversion with the Erikenstein cab. I stripped down the paints, and I'm probably just going to get this glued in. Get this glued in place, and then I'll start slowly figuring out what I'm going to do with this. Plus, I have the Volkswagen bus project that has been slowly getting done. I got the body primed. I finished out some of the trim work inside here because I just had a couple layers of plastic card. I wanted to look more finished. So I went ahead and got some trim in there. So now it looks a little bit more finished. And one of the things I'm thinking about doing is back in World War II, the Flying Tiger, the P-40, they used to put like shark teeth on them, or just tiger teeth or whatever, just teeth. And I'm thinking about hand painting those on there just to challenge myself and do something a little bit cooler. Kind of doing like a teeth pattern, open mouth type thing. Just thought it might look a little cool to fill in some of this void. I don't know. We'll see. But right now it's just sitting. I got to get this, got to hit some more primer there and prime it up a little bit, get it all glued together, and then I can start painting on this. So, but this project's been a lot of fun. I'm really happy with how this one turned out. And then I started working on my next project, which will be another bug project. This is the 2021 bug that is available through Hot Wheels. It's an oval window, so it's like an old 50s style, 50s year bug. What I like about it is the front headlights have already been drilled out by Hot Wheels, because what they did is they put the headlights in the plastic so that they could be chrome. So I can just snip those off. I can use those to mount my weapons coming out of, or something more devious if I choose to. So I can just have a little bit of fun with that. So this is going to be my next upcoming project as we move along with everything that I'm building. So yeah, so I'll just go ahead and get started. Figure I'd go ahead and get the silver stuff painted on, start getting some paint down on this, set it aside, let it dry for a little bit. Oh, hey, Jeff joined us. How are you, buddy? Yes, my new bug project, my little bug. So let me zoom out just a little bit. So let me get my paint going. So we're just going to do some dark silver to start with the base coat. Just to start working on the grill, getting the wire mesh done, and start working on the rims. Start getting everything kind of painted up. Then I'll set it aside, and then I'll come back and finish it off a little bit later. Give it time for that paint to dry because I'll be painting the rims, and I don't want to be touching them when I'm painting them. Oops. Got paint on my fingers. So I did have a chance I got to go to California, and it was quite the experience with everything going on. I'm so used to being in California, and it's just kind of a hustling, bustling area in Anaheim, and it was just like a ghost town. So it was kind of sad, but it's getting back. It'll start opening back up, and everything should go back to normal there, as normal as we can possibly get it. I don't think we're ever going to really go back to total normal. But a lot of the businesses, it looks like they just no internet, but I do have a phone that seems to be working so far. Well, that's good. Phones are important. But yeah, it was just a real, it was very surreal, but it kind of gave us a taste of what we should expect when they open up Disneyland, because that's supposed to open April 30th for local residents, and then it will start opening for everybody else a little bit later. But it's just unique. So the one thing they were trying to go with like a cashless system. They wanted people paying like through the app. They wanted people to be doing mobile ordering and going to the window and just picking up your order and not paying at the booth, which in theory, makes sense. That's probably how they should be doing it anyways. That way there's not long lines at the booths and people can just come up, pick up their stuff and leave. But the challenge was, it's like they didn't go 100%. And that I don't know if they were just testing out the software to see how it was going to work, or if they're just not 100% committed, or if I believe some of the vendors inside Disneyland are private contractors, and they're not actually parts of the Disneyland world. And so some places we walked up to and you could pay with money. Other places you couldn't. And it was some places you had to do mobile ordering. And we were there for the food festival, or the Taste of Disney. And there was 6 vendors that we had to go out and prepay at a cashier to get the food. So it was kind of a hodgepodge of, you had different things you had to do for different vendors, and just didn't seem to make a lot of sense. So hopefully they if they're going to continue with this pay through the app, and the vendors, maybe they get a little bit more committed to it, and just have everybody on the system and take it from there. So that was the only, it took us a little while to figure out everything. But once we figured it out, it was no big deal. We just had to figure it out first. That was the hard part. So, but it was a good time. Got to see some of the Avengers campus stuff. Not a lot, just they had some stuff that was sticking up, some towers and stuff like that. So they had that heavily guarded to where people couldn't get in to see any of that, which was kind of interesting because they had some of the higher up. It looked like some of the higher up management staff um, watching the areas to make sure no one got in there. So I do like the way this is turning out. So but it was a good trip. It was just a 1 day trip. So we're back. Um, we just flew out on Friday, hung out at the California Adventures on Friday, crashed out, and got up the next day and came home. Nothing that dramatic. But we do plan to go back in November because they should have everything opened up to the general public by November. And we'll go back and check out Disneyland and all the kind of cool stuff. And the Marvel Land is supposed to open end of June or beginning of June. So kind of want to go see that too. But we'll see how it all plays out. Because they're talking, there may not be any more park hoppers and just lots of different things on the table right now. So we'll see. They are building another land though. So it looks like they're going to get rid of some parking structure and they're going to build a whole nother land in California. So probably going to deal more with some of the newer stuff, newer shows, so that you start incorporating all the new stuff that doesn't really get any attention at the Disneyland itself. So, anywho, what I'm going to do with the box in the back is I'm going to start with a base coat of black, and I'll most likely leave it black, but I'll do the strapping in a metallic, like a silver or something like that. I didn't do the door handle on the other side, did I? I didn't. Gotta paint your door handles. That's important. And I guess we might as well just do the grill. I should probably finish this before I do the black. That is important. I think this car is going to look really nice when it's done. Not too crazy. But it will have a good look to it. The IOG sponsored team. I need to create some special rules just for the IOG sponsored teams. And we can travel to other shops and we can have some competitions. Speaking of traveling, I have been asked by the organizer of the LVO to teach the Gaslands class. So they have accepted my proposal to teach how to build Gaslands cars. So just some basic conversations so far. Really just talking a little bit about space. Do I want a private room or do I want to be in the grand hall? And I'm kind of letting them make that decision. because I'm pretty loud and I feel I can talk at the grand hall or the main gaming hall just as easily as I can talk in a classroom. Um, I just told them if we're going to do the main gaming hall, I just want to keep the class size a little bit smaller. So hopefully we'll get something worked out. But basically, they were just asking for a commitment from me. So if you're not familiar with the Las Vegas Open, it's mainly it's put on by Frontline Gaming. So it's a big 40K tournament. Last time I was there was like the largest number of 40K players ever signed up to play in the tournament. It is the last hurrah for the ITC. So it's their final tournament for the ITC, and they award the winners their trophies. It's kind of a big hoo-ha-ha, but it's a lot to do with the 40K scene. But they add a lot of other gaming there as well. One year, Jeff and I went, and they had some really cool 30K gaming going on, which got us all excited to do 30K gaming again. And then we quickly dropped that. I don't know why. It just never happened. And they have Battlefront stuff, so they do Flames of War. They just do a bunch of different tournaments. And it's a lot of the competitive side of things for a lot of it, but there's also a lot of casual play, small vendor hall, all that good stuff. Well, next year, 2022, they're going to be at a new hotel. So I'm assuming the reason they're going to be at the new hotel is one of the downsides that LVO had at Bally's was you had the event on 3 different floors. And if you didn't know where the events were, or if you weren't partaking in those events, you might not have seen them. Like the 30K stuff is like upstairs in like the penthouse area. It's like way at the very top of the hotel. And one year I went, I didn't even know it was there because there was no signage. It was just basically, if you signed up for it, you knew where it was, but nobody else knew where it was. There wasn't like signs pointing everybody where to go. So I'm hoping with the new hotel, they got everybody in like a general area. So that way it's not as scattered throughout the whole hotel. And it'll make it a little bit easier for people to see everything that's going on. But I will be teaching how to build Gaslands cars. So I'll be doing a 2-hour presentation. Basically, the first hour is going to be me chit-chatting about all the tools and different things that we use to build the cars. And then the second half, I'll have a bunch of cars already stripped down and ready to go. And I'll have a bunch of the implements of Carnage sprues. And I will just let people go to town and start building some cars. And I'm just going to help them along the way. So I'm super excited about that. Can't wait to get working on that. I've already got my presentation put together because before COVID, I was already going to be teaching a class at the Mesa Gaming Convention, or I forget what they called it. There's a gaming convention in Mesa that I was going to teach at. But then everything went south, so that didn't happen. These bombs that I'm clipping off here, these are just leftover bombs from my Aeronautica Imperialis Orc. Ooh, that one bent. Set. So these are cool little bombs. And what I got to do is I just got to snip off that piece right there and clean it up a little bit. and then just drop it in there. So I'll probably put like 2 or 3. I'll probably just put these 4. I think those 4 looks like it should fill up that spot pretty nicely. So if you guys can make it out to the Las Vegas Open, I'd love to hang out with people and just chill. I'm probably going to take a bunch of my Gasland stuff just to build cars and probably play. Sounds like a fun thing to do. I'm sure by then. So today over at IOG, Darren got in the Billion Suns rulebook. He said he called me and told me that it was coming in today. So I haven't confirmed if it actually came in, but he said he's got one put on hold for me. So on Friday, I'll be heading up to the shop, pick up my copy of A Billion Suns so I can start learning those rules. So maybe when we go to Las Vegas Open, maybe there'll be a big enough following for that game as well to get a few people playing that as well. So we'll see. I'm hopeful. I'm optimistic that everything will go swimmingly for 2022. We're still struggling through 2021. Things are better, but they're not perfect. So hopefully, maybe, fingers crossed, 2022, we're better off. So I got those 2 bombs and that big bomb. Should I stand them up more like this? A little bit more haphazard so that they're sticking up a little bit more. May not see the wings or the fins. Ooh, yeah. I think those 3 just like that. Let me zoom in, see if you guys agree. I leave them just sitting like that, kind of sticking out. They won't be in the way of the rocket pods too much. And if they are, this blows the car up. But then I'll just have those 3 sticking out like that. So I'll have 1 extra. I will put this back in my bucket. I get these food trays. I eat a lot of sandwich meat because I make sandwiches for work, and I get the food tray. I just save them for bits and bits and bits. Lots of bits. All right, so we're gonna leave these like that. Glue, glue, glue. I need to get some new super glue here. This cap is kind of glued on. All right. So what we'll do is we'll just get a little bit of glue started on the inside. Get that first one in place. Put a little glue on the side of it, if I can see where it's coming from. And then we'll do that last one. All right. I really want those to stick out and show off that they're kind of missiles or bombs. This thing's just loaded with crazy stuff. I like it. So this is pretty much done. I'm just going to dry brush the engine block and all this other stuff and get these rims painted up silver. But that's something that's not too terribly exciting. So I'll probably just do that just on my day off. in between painting Gazgul. So I want to get back to this. So that front grille came out nice. One of the things you got to be careful about, some of these cars don't have a lot of deep like the details just not that deep. And you just got to be a little careful sometimes when you paint it. Make sure you put on a nice thin smooth coat. But yeah, I want to get those stripes done in the back just to make it look like it's just strapped down. I'm probably just going to put some brown wash back there, dirty it up a little bit. So far, I haven't broken any cars that I've worked on. So far, my evening with the cars are going good. Everything else I touched went to crap. Sorry, that's those moments when you don't want to talk when you're painting. I have those moments. Just want to focus on what you're doing. Got a little off on that. But luckily it's just black, so this will be an easy thing to touch up. So yeah, I just wanted to put those straps down. Just to make it look like it's nice and secure. And then I still have a little bit of black paint left. I'll fix this one up real fast. And that's that. So now as far as the weathering goes on this, I'm not going to get crazy with the weathering. I want to just do some very light chipping. Maybe around the doors, a little bit around the bed here. Obviously some around the hood. And what we're going to do is we're just going to start with a dark brown, almost like a black. It's called black brown. And I want to start with a dark color to start building up the shading, and then I'll go over the dark color with a lighter color just to then it'll show off and pop a little bit better. And we're just going to do my old-fashioned sponge technique. No reason to change it if it works. So I just I get this porous sponge. I get it from the hobby store. It's in the art section. And just a little dab of paint. And then I'll just kind of scrunch up the sponge a little bit. I want to make sure I leave some of the texturing. And just dab it in the paint. Just like dry brushing. Just dab off the excess. And you just start kind of chipping it. And if you put too much on, you just wipe it off. It's pretty straightforward stuff. But we just want to add some kind of like it's been around, like it's gotten beat up. Like really hit the bed. I'll go real heavy in the bed. That would make sense. But just hitting some of the areas. I want this to look a little weathered. Little weathered. What's cool is putting the decals on first. Is if you hit around some of the decal, you'll create some of that weathering on the decal itself and kind of make it look like it's worn out, kind of like your old Uncle Mike's truck in the backyard. But we just want to get some grime on it, kind of start working those colors. I don't want it to look like a rust bucket. That's the one thing I don't want it to look like. And then what we're going to want to do is go over it with a little bit of a rust orange. And I'm probably going to start with like a little bit of the burnt red because it's just going to add a little bit of a kind of like a rusty primer look. And I'm going to mix it right into it I'll just keep it on the same sponge. Won't change anything. So it'll actually get a little bit of the black brown back in it. So that'll tone it down. But now I'm just going to hit the spots that I already hit. Just adding a little bit more color to it. So it's not going to be just flat. It'll have a little depth to it with the different colors. Look a little bit more like rust would look. Because if you ever really look at rust, it's just all kinds of different shades of color. All right. So we're getting a little bit there. So right here, obviously, I nicked it or something. Something happened right there. So that would be a good spot to hit with some rust to kind of cover up the metal showing through. Just to cover that up a little bit. So that's what we're looking at right now. And now what I want to do is add a little bit of a brighter orange. And I use the GW Raza Rust. It's a product you have to get used to. It's like, oh boy, that is orange, but it will dry. And it will dry kind of flattish orange. And it is a technical paint, like a dry brush, kind of a technical paint. So I've often thought that this stuff was dried out, but that's just how it is. And I'm just going to do the same thing, rinse and repeat. But because this is a dry brush paint, it doesn't act the same as regular paint, obviously. So now we're just going to add some orange to it. Then when it dries, it'll look really nice. Just need to make sure I keep my sponge where the paint's at. It's no Everland Sunset. No, it's not, Jeff. It's not. I don't think there's ever, if GW ever stopped making that paint, I think we would be in a world of hurt. I think my Raza paint dried up on me. Don't even say something. Yeah, that is blasphemy. I shouldn't say that. They would never stop making that. All right, so I think we're done with that. Let me kind of zoom in a little bit on this so you guys can kind of see what I did. So I just wanted to get kind of like some wear going on, like the exhaust is shooting out here and cause the paint to kind of degrade over time. You can kind of see a little bit of the rust effect. I wasn't trying to get crazy with it. Just wanted some of the rust to be there. I think I got a little too much right there. And that paint will dry and tone down a lot. But that's pretty much it. So I'll go back in and hit the door handles again. Actually, no, they look okay. But I didn't want this one to go crazy. I didn't want to take a lot of the paint away and do all kinds of chipping and weathering and harsh like rusty stuff. I'm like, I just want a little bit. So I'll get this dull coated. I'll probably paint some of the detail like this handle back here and some of the other little detail pieces. And I'll brighten up the rims a little bit. But I think that's it. I think this one's a dunner. Just a nice little truck. So Miss just do sound to cover this nervous habit. I just drink my moonshine. So yeah, it's just left little flakes of orange here and there. So just a little contrast to the color. And it just looks a little kind of beat up. So I know I have my silver out here. There it is. So I'm just going to go in and highlight a little bit of the weapons on this because some of the rust effect got on the barrel of the gun. So I'm just going to touch that up a little bit, add a little bit of a brighter silver there. Okay, calling Comcast again. Uh-oh. Now you did it, Joe. Just going to brighten everything up just a little bit here. Just so everything kind of stands out. Just like that. Oops. Always get a little mess up here and there. What I'll do is this will dry overnight, and then tomorrow I'll hit this with some dull coat. Kind of give it the final seal. And then this one will be done. I'll get photos of it up on the Discord channel so you guys can see it. But this is looking good. There you go, Joe. There we go. All right. Voila. One more car done. So soon Darren will have a fleet of Hot Wheel cars at the shop for Gaslands. And I think he's going to take them up to Montana with him for a convention that takes place up there. So, and then David's car. David didn't join us tonight. I didn't see David pop in. So I don't know what color he wants to paint his car. Obviously, I'll work on this part of it, but we won't know what color he wants this painted. So we'll hold off on that. I think now what I want to do is go ahead and get this body glued together so that this is in motion, because I want to start work on this truck next, because this truck just looks cool. Erikenstein front with some crazy truck thing in the back. And all I did is I just cut it all with a jeweler saw, but I left a lot of that on there. So I can this is just going to be kind of a straight, just glue it on and be done with it. I think the hardest thing is just to make sure I do it all nice and straight. Don't want it to be too lopsided. I don't mind if it's a little lopsided, but so this is just a wallop of super glue. Yeah, I really need to get some new super glue. Dun, dun, dun. Perfect. Oh. Now it's all falling apart. Don't fall apart on me now. This is the joy of Hot Wheel building. Things go south quickly. All right, we're lined up there. Just hold it in place. What I'm trying to do is I don't want it to glue to the plastic, but I may not have a choice in the matter. In order to get it sized up right, I might just have to let it go. All right. Maybe I'll just do the glue up top here. There, just let it go. This is one of the challenges I'm sure most of us have in life, is we want to fidget with whatever we just did, and we fidget with it and we keep messing it up and we make things just worse. You know, I just can't seem to be, just leave it alone. It's just not in my nature. I just keep fidgeting with it. But what I need to do is just do that and be done with it. Just wash my hands of it. So I didn't hear back from Jeff. So I'll touch base tomorrow. I'm like, okay, buddy, we'll touch base tomorrow. So in order for me to leave that alone, I need to do something else. So I'm just going to go ahead and start working on dry brushing this up a little bit. Otherwise, I'm going to fidget with that and it's just going to keep falling apart. And then I'm just going to get frustrated. So here I'm just gonna do some silver dry brushing on the engine block. Because the thing about the Erikenstein is this front engine will be seen from the front of the car when it's put back on. And then I'll just kind of dry brush some of these pieces back here. Just to give it a little bit of a look. And then I'll go through with the silver. The brighter silver to brighten everything up a little bit. So. And now we'll just kind of paint the rims real fast. And I think that's going to be about it. Like, I pretty much got everything done. So these are the wheels that David actually 3D printed. And I had to modify them a little bit to make them work with the Erikenstein with the body. But I really like how they're spoked. It really just makes them kind of stand out. Because this is a dark metallic, it doesn't really show that well right now, but I'll zoom in once I get them done. So, but he did a good job. I just, I think when I talked to him last, I just mentioned he should make them wider because these are pretty narrow. They'll work for, keep the narrow ones for some cars, but also offer a wider tire for like trucks and things like that. These are just cool rims. They paint up nice and easy. I should have did them in gold. And still do them in gold. They could be like sun rims. They can look like the sun. Well, if David doesn't tell me what color he wants me to paint his Erikenstein, I'm just going to have to make up a color. Probably go with a darker color so we can show off the rims a little bit better. I think he said pastel. He did mention a pink. I'm not opposed to painting it pink. I'm sure we'll see him. He'll let me know. But his rims do paint up nice. So I'm quite pleased with them. So let me show you guys what they kind of look like. That's what they look like. So
They're all spoke. That's all hollowed and everything. So it's a really nice ram and wheel. It's got some nice treads on the wheels as well. Yeah, we did the dualies in the back. So have to screw it back together, but that's what we're looking at. The dualies in the back like that turned out real nice. Let me where are my screws? Let's screw it back together real fast. So you guys can kind of really see how it's going to look. Yeah, I'm the crazy guy that screws his cars back together. Never thought I'd be that guy, but it makes building cars so much better. Because you can take them apart, put them back together again, and so that's it. I could. No, I can't. I was gonna say I could polish the metal and make it look just chrome, kind of like I did with the truck with the two big engines in it. But because I did all this plastic work, I'm not going to be able to do that. So, but yeah, I like it. I think David's going to like it too. I just need to let the paint dry and then clean up some stuff, and that will be about it. So, I'm looking forward to having this one finished. I also need to get his spaceship painted so that he has that done as well for a billion suns. Out today at IOG. So if you guys are looking for your copy, you can always go over to the shop and pick a copy up. And that's all I've got left. That's it for the day, you guys, because this project, I still need to do a bunch of priming work on all this stuff. And this one, I just basically just need to do a little bit of painting. So nothing too dramatic there. And this is what I was afraid of. I glued it all in place. Aha, it came off. Sweet. All right. Let that dry. This was already glued on. So, well, you guys, I am going to switch cameras here. Boom, boom. I got everything I wanted to get done today done, and I didn't break a bunch of stuff. So, like I said, coming home, I made a mess in my room, and I messed up the dice tray. I just messed up a bunch of stuff. So it felt good to sit down for just an hour and just build some cars and not mess them up. It happens, though. Sometimes we'd rather see the cars. Yes. Sorry, I zoomed in and messed up, Joe. But yeah, it's just so some days we have those days when everything we seem to touch, we seem to break, or stuff just doesn't go right for us, and it's just you can't just throw in a towel. You just got to just regroup, rethink, and start all over again. So that's my inspiration for you guys for today. But I've got everything done that I wanted to work on, so I am going to cut out. It was only an hour, but I think we got a lot done in just an hour. I'm happy with what I got done. But by next week, hopefully, we'll have the Erikenstein. David will tell me what color he wants me to paint it, and then I'll start getting to work on this and getting the interior portion of this all designed and fitted into the chassis, because this chassis is from something completely different. So I'll get those two things fitted together and make that work. And maybe I'll start doing my custom paint on the bus, putting those tiger teeth on there. Thank you for hanging out with me, Adam, and thank you, Joe. You guys are always great support, so that we can continue moving things forward. And I'll be picking your guys' brains with the class for the LBO 2022. Kind of get your guys' input and probably do some of the sessions, some of the classes on the show. Only an hour. I didn't feel like I'm getting my money's worth. You were getting every dime worth, Joe, because you don't pay anything for the show. Anywho, all right, you guys. Well, thank you very much for hanging out with me. I'm just gonna let this stuff all dry overnight, and then tomorrow I'll get it all finished up, and I'll get some photos of the truck on the Discord channel tomorrow when I get them done. And that's it. So thank you all very much, and you guys have a great week, and I'll see you later. Bye.